Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting to something that, on the surface, seems so incredibly simple, right? Just caring for your car.
Right. It seems cosmetic.
Exactly. But we're going to show you how ignoring the details here is one of the fastest ways to, well, to just watch a huge financial investment start to erode.
That's absolutely it. If you think cleaning your car is just about curb appeal, you're missing the whole point. Our mission here is to pull out the really critical stuff from our sources, the surprising things that go way beyond looks.
Yeah, we're talking safety, we're talking mechanical longevity, real maintenance.
And we're jumping right into it with something our sources flagged as, pretty counterintuitive.
Which is that a clean interior is actually a safety feature.
Precisely. Think about it. All that clutter, the papers, the dust, it creates this low-level cognitive drain. It's a constant, tiny distraction.
So keeping it clean helps you stay focused on the road.
It's a direct contribution to safe driving, yes. It helps you stay mentally alert.
Okay, so that sets the stage perfectly. We've structured this whole deep dive around the big questions. First, the why, the real reasons to do this.
Then the how often, so your actual schedule is for washing and waxing.
And finally, the how. Hand washing, pressure washing, and that all-important undercarriage that nobody ever sees.
Okay, so let's unpack the why. Our sources laid out 9 really crucial reasons. And we have to start with safety, but maybe not in the way people think.
Right. Everyone gets that clean windows, help you see. But what about the wipers?
That's a great place to start. All that dirt and grit on your windshield.
It's like sandpaper.
It is. It's microscopic sandpaper. And every single time you activate your wipers, you're just grinding down the rubber.
So a clean windshield means your wipers last longer, and, more importantly, they actually work when you hit a sudden downpour.
It ensures your safety systems work when you need them. Simple as that.
So beyond that immediate safety, there's the big one. Preserving the investment. The sources were really clear that your car's paint is under constant attack.
Oh, constant. Regular washing is the only defense against what we call damaging contaminants. That's, industrial fallout, tree sap.
And the worst one, bird droppings.
The worst one. It's highly acidic and it acts fast. If you leave that stuff on the surface, it literally etches itself into the clear coat. That's permanent damage.
And this is where it gets really serious for anyone living in, say, the snow belt. Rust prevention.
This is absolutely crucial, and it's probably the most overlooked part of car care. When you're driving on roads treated with salt or de-icing brines.
That stuff is a killer for cars.
It is. It creates this electrolyte solution that just massively accelerates rust. Galvanic corrosion.
And we're not just talking about a little bubble on a fender.
No, not at all. That salt and moisture gets into every hidden spot. Wheel wells, frame rails, suspension mounts, and this is where it gets scary. Because it causes rust on things like your brake lines and your fuel lines, components you absolutely need for safe operation. A few years of neglect in a salty area can lead to thousands of dollars in rust repair. It's a huge measurable loss.
Wow. Okay, that really puts a number on it.
Yeah.
So let's pivot a bit to the things that affect you day to day. Your health and comfort inside the car.
People are always surprised by this. The air quality inside your car can get, pretty bad. All the dust, pollen, and allergens you track can just get recirculated by the HVAC system.
So a good vacuum and wipe down is actually an air quality issue.
It's a health issue, absolutely. And then there's the hygiene part. Spilled drinks, crumbs, moisture under the floor mats.
It's a perfect storm.
A perfect breeding ground for mold, mildew, bacteria. Keeping the interior clean and dry is just basic hygiene.
Plus you're protecting the materials inside too. The dash, the seats.
Absolutely. Leather and vinyl, they need conditioning to prevent cracking and fading from UV damage. And with all the tech in modern cars, keeping dust out of touchscreens and buttons is actually important for their function.
And I was surprised by this last one, a really small detail. The sources said a dirty car can actually be less efficient.
Yeah, it's a minor effect, but it's real. A heavy buildup of mud and grime, especially on the front and lower parts of the car, disrupts the airflow.
It messes with the aerodynamics.
Slightly, yes. Over a long highway drive, it can make a tiny difference in fuel efficiency. But more than that, it's a signal. A clean car suggests meticulous care, which really helps when it's time to sell.
So we've made the case. Cleaning is not optional. It's preventative maintenance. So the big question is, how often do you actually have to do it?
And there's no single answer. It is completely dependent on where you live, how you drive, the environment. but we can break it down into 3 general guidelines.
Okay, give us the breakdown. Start with the most demanding scenario.
Right. So if you're a daily commuter, you're covering a lot of miles, or you live in a big city with a lot of pollution and road grime, you should be washing weekly.
Weekly. Wow.
Your car is just under constant assault. You have to get that stuff off frequently.
Okay, that makes sense. High exposure, high frequency. So what about the average driver? Maybe in a suburban area.
For most suburban drivers with, moderate traffic, biweekly is the standard, every 2 weeks. That's usually enough to keep contaminants from really bonding to the paint.
And what about the car that sits in the garage most of the week?
If you're driving infrequently or you're out in a rural area with very little pollution, you might stretch it to monthly, but that's the exception. If the car's parked outside, even dew and dust buildup.
And we have to talk about the absolute game changer here. Winter. When the salt trucks roll out, the old rules are just out the window.
Completely out the window. If you live where they use road salt, you have to shift your thinking. It's weekly or biweekly washing, period. You have to see that salt as an active chemical attack on your car.
It's not just dirt.
Not at all. The longer it sits, the more damage it does, especially to the undercarriage.
So beyond these scheduled washes, the sources really emphasized spot cleaning. What are the things that need to be cleaned off right now?
There are 3 main culprits that cause immediate, and I mean immediate, damage. Bird droppings, tree sap, and bug splatters.
Because they're acidic, right?
Exactly. They're either highly acidic or incredibly sticky. And if you add heat from the sun, they can start etching your clear coat within a couple of hours.
A couple of hours, that's it.
On a hot day, yes. The acid softens the clear coat, and then when it cools and hardens again, the damage is locked in. You need a quick detailer spray in your trunk to get that stuff off immediately.
Okay, that makes the urgency crystal clear. So we've got washing frequency down. Let's talk about the next level of protection, waxing.
Right. This is moving from cleaning to active defense. Wax is the barrier between your paint and everything else. It gives you UV protection.
Like sunscreen for your car?
Exactly like sunscreen. And it creates a hydrophobic layer, so water just beads up and rolls off, taking dirt with it. But how often you do it depends entirely on the product you use.
Okay, so talk us through the 2 main types. This really dictates your maintenance schedule.
So you have 2 main camps. First is the traditional natural Carnauba wax. Enthusiasts love it. It gives this incredibly deep, rich, warm shine. It just looks fantastic.
But there's a catch.
The catch is durability. Because it's a natural product, it only lasts about 6 to 8 weeks before it breaks down.
So if I'm a Carnauba guy, I'm waxing my car 6, maybe 7 times a year. That's a commitment.
It is a high maintenance choice for sure. The other option is a synthetic wax, or what we call a paint sealant.
And that's different how?
These are man-made polymers that are engineered to bond to the paint. Because they're synthetic, they're way more durable. We're talking 4 to 6 months of protection, sometimes even longer.
Okay, hold on. If the synthetic stuff lasts 4 or 5 times longer and it's generally cheaper, why would anyone even use Carnauba? What's the trade-off?
That is the question, right? And the trade-off is almost purely aesthetic. While the synthetics are super durable, a lot of purists will argue that they give a colder, almost sharper shine, not that deep, wet look you get from Carnauba.
So it's looks versus convenience.
Pretty much. It's a choice between the ultimate gloss and a much easier maintenance schedule.
So for someone who just wants to keep their car protected and isn't tracking dates on a calendar, what's the easiest way to know it's time to re-wax?
It's the water test. It's foolproof. When wax is working, water forms these tight, round little beads on the surface. When the wax is gone, the water doesn't bead anymore. It just forms big, flat puddles or sheets across the paint. If you see sheeting, it's time to wax.
That's a great tip. So a good rule of thumb for most people using a synthetic is maybe every 2 to 3 months, just to be safe.
Exactly. Or you can push it to 6 months if you're using a really high-quality sealant and the water is still beading like crazy.
All right, let's get into the big debate. Hand wash versus the automatic car wash. What's the fundamental trade-off here?
It's the classic battle, convenience versus quality. And it has real consequences for your paint. A hand wash, when it's done right, is just superior.
You control everything.
Everything. The soap, the water, the gentle touch of your wash mitt. If you use a proper 2-bucket method, it is so much gentler on your paint. You drastically reduce the risk of swirl marks and micro scratches.
And you mentioned this earlier. It's a chance to inspect the car up close.
It's the only time you're going to notice that tiny rock chip or the start of a rust spot before it becomes a huge problem. The downside, of course, is it takes a lot of time and effort.
So on the other side, we have the automatic wash. They're fast, they're everywhere.
They offer speed, absolutely. But there are risks. We have to separate them into two types. The older style, the ones with the big spinning brushes or cloth strips.
Yeah, the friction washes.
Those are the riskiest. Those brushes hold on to the grit from every car that went before you and they just drag it across your clear coat. That's where swirl marks come from.
So they're literally scratching your car where they clean it.
It's a major risk. A better compromise, if you need the convenience, is a modern, high-quality, touchless automatic wash.
How does that work, and what's the catch there?
A touchless wash uses no brushes. It relies on very high-pressure water and some pretty aggressive chemical detergents to strip the dirt off.
So no scratches.
Far less risk of scratches, yes. The trade-off is twofold. One, it's just not as effective at removing that really tough bonded-on road grime. And two, those strong chemicals have to be rinsed off perfectly or they can leave a residue that dulls your finish.
Okay, let's talk about tools for the person doing this at home. A pressure washer can save a ton of time and water, but it seems like you could do some serious damage.
Oh, the risk is substantial. You're dealing with a lot of force. We found 3 rules you absolutely have to follow. First is the pressure setting.
What's the safe zone for a car?
You need to stay low. We're talking between 1,200 and maybe 1,500 PSI max. You get up towards 2,000 PSI, and you risk literally peeling paint or forcing water past seals.
And the nozzle matters too. Right?
It's critical. You need a wide-angle nozzle, like a 25 or a 40 degree, to spread out that force. And here's the golden rule. Never, ever use a 0-degree nozzle.
The little red one.
That's the one. It creates a pencil jet that can cut through tires, strip decals, and physically damage the paint. Just don't use it.
And the third rule is distance.
Distance is your biggest safety net. You must keep that nozzle at least 2 feet away from the surface of the car.
At all times.
At all times. The closer you get, the higher the effective pressure. And you never, ever spray directly at sensors, lights, or the engine bay.
Okay, let's finish with the area that's most forgotten, but maybe the most important for longevity. The undercarriage.
The foundation of the whole vehicle, and it's where all the worst stuff collects: road salt, grime, moisture. The threat here is rust that compromises structural, safety-critical parts.
And if you ignore this for years, what happens?
You get severe corrosion on frame rails, suspension parts, and the really scary ones, the brake and fuel lines. If a brake line rusts through because of neglect, you could have a sudden, catastrophic brake failure.
So cleaning the undercarriage is not about looks. It is a vital safety check.
It's pure safety and preservation, and all that caked-on grime can also trap heat and cause other parts to fail prematurely.
So what's the practical way to clean it?
The easiest way is to always get the undercarriage option at a car wash, especially in the winter. If you're doing it at home, you can use a high-pressure hose and a good degreaser, really focusing on the wheel wells and frame. The key is to rinse it all thoroughly. Get all the soap and dirt off.
This has been an incredibly deep and surprisingly detailed dive. We've gone from the psychology of a clean interior all the way down to the PSI settings on a pressure washer.
We have. We've established that cleaning is about protecting your safety, your health, and your investment. We learned that frequency depends entirely on your lifestyle, and that things like waxing and undercarriage cleaning are non-negotiable for longevity.
And that knowledge really empowers you. It's not just about having a shiny car. It's about knowing you're actively protecting this huge investment and you're making sure it's safe for you and everyone in it.
And that leads to a final thought. If we know that regular washing helps maintain component health and even, slightly improves aerodynamics, it raises an important question. Beyond washing, what single regular act of simple...
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.